So I've done a bunch of stuff this morning. I'm about to play Animal Crossing. I say this morning, it's actually now 20 to 2. But I'm about to play Animal Crossing. I'm watching an Animal Crossing stream and my weekly vlog for tonight is uploading. So the link to that weekly vlog will be in the description in case you missed last week's video. But yeah, that'll be going up at 6 o'clock tonight. I'm watching this Animal Crossing live stream from this guy. He streamed it last night. His channel is Tagback TV and he's really funny and he makes great Animal Crossing content, especially if you're a newbie like me. And yeah, gonna play Animal Crossing. Well, this isn't fun. Apparently it's going to rain for the next week at least, possibly next 2 weeks. And even though the garden and the plants need it, I definitely don't. I'm feeling pretty down about it this morning. Hi everyone, it's like a tea time with Chloe, except in a weekly vlog. I am out of weekly vlog content, by the way. Also, sorry about this. I have my hair in yesterday's plaits because it is pouring with rain and I can't be bothered to get ready when I know full well that I'm going to sit on the couch all day and play Animal Crossing, so yeah. Anyway, I am running low on weekly vlog content because I'm basically doing like all the same things. So I asked for questions on Instagram so that I could do a little Q&A segment in this weekly vlog. But if you do have any ideas for things that you would like to see in the weekly vlogs, let me know. And also if you have any ideas of things that I could film for a tea time with Chloe video, because it's been a little while since I did one of those and I used to like doing one every month, but I'm not really sure what to talk about in those at the moment, so if anyone has any ideas, definitely let me know. Anyway, I've got my old cracked phone with the questions on, so I can answer them. But yeah, so I'm gonna answer everyone's question. I did get more than I thought, which is nice, but some of them I might answer quite quickly because I don't want this to take like half an hour, because at the end of the day it is still a weekly vlog. So let's get going. First question, how many scrapbook albums do you have and how are they categorised by holidays or years, etc.? So I'm not sure exactly how many I have, but I have different categories. So I have a childhood album, which starts from when I was born up until I was, I think, 14 or 15. It goes from 1994 to 2009, I think. So yeah, I was like 15. So that's the first album, and then from then on I have one for every year since then, although I think 2010 and 2011 might be together in the same album. But other than that, I have one or several, depending on how busy the year was, for every year up to now. And then I also have themed albums, so I have travel albums that have all of our holidays in, or all of my holidays in, from when I was about 18. The rest of my holidays are documented in my yearly albums or in my childhood album. And then I have like a renovation album when we renovated our first house. I have a Disney album. I have my December daily album. So I have quite a lot of scrapbook albums for somebody of my age, I would say. But yeah, there's different categories. What was your favourite book of 2019 and or 2020 so far? 2019 I can't remember at all, but 2020 so far my favourite book has been Nowhere Girls, which I spoke about the other day, but I don't think I told you that I actually finished it. I finished it. It was amazing. I finished it last Saturday. It's about a group of girls in a high school who try to change the way that girls are treated by the boys at their school and the teachers and the faculty and everything of the high school, because they're sick of being treated the way they're being treated, basically. And I found it really personal in a way that I could relate to a lot of their experiences. It was a very difficult read, trigger warnings for things like sexual assault, etc. Many trigger warnings for that. You can read the blurb and see exactly what it's about and know whether it's for you or not. But it was a fantastic book with great representation and diversity, and I feel like everyone should read it. Any tips for coping with bad days? Currently having my first major relapse in nearly 5 years. So I'm not sure if they mean with a mental illness or a physical illness, but honestly I'm not sure I'm the best person to talk to about this, because when I'm having a bad day I just let myself have a bad day, and I hate it when people tell you to be positive. If you've watched last week's vlog, you'll know how much I hate it when people just tell you to be positive.
it is physically impossible to be positive all the time, and if you are, I feel like you're lying to yourself. It's perfectly healthy and normal to have negative emotions and to feel negative about things sometimes, and it's just normal. If you are really struggling with mental health though, obviously try and seek advice from a medical professional. That would be my top advice. And if it's physical illness, obviously again, seek advice from a medical professional. If you have some sort of care team, like I have a consultant and there are IBD nurses, so inflammatory bowel disease nurses, that I can speak to if I need to. Obviously seek their advice. But other than that, I'm not sure I'm the best person to ask, because I am the queen of letting myself feel all the feelings. Are you confident with your body? Short answer is no. From here up, I'm pretty happy. I've never thought that I was like ugly. I've always thought I have like a normal face. I have a lot of trouble with my skin, and my hair hasn't been great since I was on those horrible injections last year, but my face itself I don't really have many problems with other than my skin. I just think I have like a normal face. The rest of me is a constant work in progress. Do you plan on starting up your Patreon page again? From Emma. I'm not sure, to be honest. I feel like when I am working, I just don't have the time to run a successful Patreon page, because I'm out of the house for the majority of the day most days, even though I work shorter hours than most people. And when I get home, I have all the animals to sort out, you know, meals to cook, household chores to do, and I feel like I want my crafting to be a fun hobby rather than something I feel like I have to do. So at the moment there aren't any plans to start up my Patreon page again, no. And for those who don't know, I shut it down like permanently a couple of months ago. What is your favourite piece of Emma Bridgewater? And that question was also from Emma. My proposal teapot, I think, which I'll insert a picture of, but it's behind me on the dresser. It says, "Will you Murray me?" because Will absolutely loves a pun, and obviously my surname is Murray. I love all of it, but that is my all-time favourite piece. Favourite memory page you have ever made? Absolutely nothing springs to mind. But my favourite albums, I think, are my travel albums when they're completed, because I love to travel, I love to go on holiday, and I just get so happy flicking through the pages and looking at all of our memories and stuff, especially since Will and I have been together and we've travelled together. I think my Disney album is probably going to be a firm favourite. Creative journaling or project life, which do you enjoy more and why? I think the actual process, I enjoy creative journaling more, because I feel like I put pressure on myself with my project life albums to like have them be perfect, and they never are. But actually, like the finished project, I love project life more. I love getting out this massive album and flicking through and seeing like our whole year as a family in detail, and I put so much in my project life albums that doesn't make it into my creative journal albums. So I love project life more, and that's why I've continued to do it, even though it's increasingly more and more difficult to get hold of the supplies, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it forever. But the actual process of creating, I think I like creative journaling more. Are you worried about being all caught up on scrapbook photos? Because I am, lol. No, because even though I'm almost up to date with printing all of my photos, I'm absolutely not up to date with all my scrapbooking. So even though my Project Life album for 2020 is now like all ready to go so far, I still have my renovation album and my travel album and everything, and I don't think I'm going to run out of things to scrapbook anytime soon. What's your favourite thing about scrapbooking? For example, the process, supplies, or the memories? Definitely the memories for me. I don't know if everyone is like this, but I actually look through my scrapbook albums quite regularly. I go through and I make sure that pages aren't falling apart and like things haven't fallen off and stuff. And speaking of which, anyone else who has been scrapbooking for a while, it really annoys me that page protectors like warp and stuff over time. Eventually, if I have some spare money, I think I'm gonna have to go through and buy like all new page protectors for a lot of my old 12x12 layouts, because they're just ruined. Anyway, I digress. I look through them all the time and I love reliving moments. So for example, in my 2013 album, I took a selfie with my dog on the day that I went on my first date with Will. So I have that memory forever in that scrapbook album. And I really hope that when we have kids and things, I can create albums of our family life together the way I do now and be able to look back and relive those memories. And I just think there's nothing like flipping through a finished scrapbook album. So yeah, it's the memories for me. If you have Disney Plus, what are your must-watch programs? The Imagineering story is my absolute must-watch. I've been saving the last episode because I don't want it to end, but I think I'm going to watch it today because the weather is so rubbish and I just want to curl up on the couch and watch it. It's all about how the Disney parks came to be, basically, and obviously as somebody who loves all the Disney parks and wants to visit all the parks around the world, that is just like the best program ever for me. And apart from a few other documentaries along similar lines, I haven't actually watched much on Disney Plus yet, apart from the Disney films themselves. And I watched Star Wars for the first time. Haven't watched the next one yet, but maybe I'll get there at some point. But yeah, I haven't watched much else on there because I don't want to steam through it. I want to enjoy it. And when the world sort of goes back to normal, or as normal as it can be, I want to be able to come home from work and still have lots on there to look forward to watching, so I haven't actually watched loads yet. What do you love most about your home and what do you like the least? The least is how dark it is. So as you can see, it's raining outside today and it is pitch black in here. My craft room is like a black hole. It's absolutely pitch black, which is horrible after the weeks of beautiful sunshine we've had, and in the winter it is just black in here all the time. So that's what I like the least, and it's all to do with the trees that we have in our garden, but it will be more hassle and more expense than we are prepared to go through to get rid of them, basically. So the plan is to get them cut back as much as possible, but that's obviously all been put on hold because of COVID. So hopefully at some point in the next year we'll be able to get those trimmed back as much as possible, and that will really give us some more light down here. So that's what I like the least. What I like the most is where it is, because we lived in a really horrible place before, and now we live, you know, pretty much on the edge of the countryside. We've got the woods 5-minute walk away. We have a common literally across the road from us, and we're just surrounded by old people and young families, and that's exactly what we wanted. So yes, that's what I love the most and what I like the least. Favourite part of your daily isolation routine? So I have actually fallen into a little bit of a routine with Will's since being in isolation and him working from home and stuff, and my favourite thing is probably that at the moment we are both addicted to Animal Crossing. So when we wake up in the morning, we lay in bed for like half an hour to an hour just playing Animal Crossing and like looking at each other's islands and stuff. So that's probably my favourite part of my like isolation routine at the moment. But also along with that, when it was sunny, every afternoon when the sun was in like the perfect spot in the garden, I would take one of the camping chairs out and just curl up and read out there for hours, and that was my favourite thing. But I won't be doing that for a while because it's due to rain for weeks. How are you guys juggling shielding and dog care, walks, etc.? I'm finding it so stressful. I'm so sorry that you're finding it stressful. If I lived alone or had someone else who was having to shield, I would find it incredibly stressful too. The dog care is easy. It's exactly the same as it was before. Walking, Will has been walking the dogs for me as much as he possibly can, obviously while maintaining total social distancing and keeping away from everyone. Whilst I have had one of the letters to say that I should be shielding, I've kind of continued on as I was before I got the letter. I think I received the letter because I've been on immunosuppressants for such a long time, but I'm actually not on them anymore, so I'm not considered immunosuppressed anymore or immunocompromised. But if I did get the illness, I would be at risk of severe illness. So Will has been going out of the house to do the food shop and walk the dog, and that's what's been working for us. He stays away from everyone, he doesn't touch anything, and that's how we've been doing it. Thankfully, we have two very small dogs who are very easily worn out. So Archie could play fetch or some brain games or something with me in the garden for an hour and he would be absolutely zonked. Winnie hates going on walks. So She wouldn't care if she missed a walk anyway, so she's easily tired out and she just spends most of the day sleeping, so we are really lucky in that respect. But I'm so sorry you're finding it stressful. It must be horrible. My parents are struggling as well because they've got 3 gun dogs who are incredibly active and bouncy, and I know they're finding it difficult. Okay. This question, if you're watching this video, please don't be like offended. I'm sure you didn't mean to cause any sort of offence or whatever, but this question sort of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. And it was, are you concerned about how you will cope with your illness while having children one day? And it sort of made me feel like if you're asking that question, then you think that I should be worried about it. I think anyone who has a chronic illness will be worried about getting ill whilst they have children. But thankfully I have an incredibly supportive partner and an incredibly supportive family. I'm one of 6 children, so there will always be helping hands. I have an incredibly supportive and loving group of friends. There are 10 of us, so our children will have lots of honorary aunties and uncles, and I think I would have lots of people willing to help us if there came a time when I was really poorly when we had children. Anyone could get ill at any time, and most people don't worry constantly about that, so I'm of the opinion that it's one of those things where I will cross that bridge when I come to it, but I'm very confident in the support network that I have around me, and in my team at hospital. So I've just been unlucky to have an incredibly stressful 18 months or so, which obviously hasn't been particularly good for having a stress affected illness. What's your colour scheme decor ideas for the wedding? So I will do a little scroll of my Pinterest boards as I've done before, but the current colour scheme is like a minty sage green, rose gold, blush pink, and then the venue is like white and it has lots of botanicals around, so just like green foliage. So that's the sort of colour scheme that we're going for at the moment. The bridesmaids are in sage green, the flower girls are probably going to be in blush pink, and then a lot of the decor is going to be in that sort of colour range with like rose gold hints and everything. So in my weekly vlogs I have been showing you guys things that I've been buying for the wedding, so make sure to keep watching those if you're interested. And I'm thinking maybe at some point like going through in a separate video and like showing you guys everything I've got for the wedding so far, because I think it could be fun. Catherine says, do you have a rough 5-year plan? I did, but now I'm not sure how much of it will come to pass because of Corona. Basically, to put it really simply, I didn't necessarily have a 5-year plan, but I had a plan for the next couple of years, and it was to get married. Well, actually, it was to start looking at changing my job. So start a new job, get married, have a year of just being us two, doing some travelling and working in my new job, and then having a baby, or thinking about having a baby, or starting to try to have a baby, because my consultant has said to me that I need to start thinking about having children sooner rather than later if I want children, which obviously I do, to try and be in the most healthiest and fittest body possible, because it's incredibly likely that I will have to have C-sections to deliver any babies that I have, because of having Crohn's. Lots of people ask me why. I don't really want to go into the ins and outs of why. You can Google it if you want to, but essentially lots of people with Crohn's have to have C-sections because of damage caused by the disease internally, and if you give birth naturally it can cause incredible pressure on those areas and cause irreparable damage, so it's much safer to deliver by C-section. So that's probably what's going to happen for me, therefore I want to be sort of as young and fit as possible when we think about having babies, so it's going to be quite a structured plan, I think. And that is, fingers crossed, if all goes well and we can have children, because obviously I've never tried to have children, so I don't know. And the same for Will, he's never tried to have a child, so he doesn't know. So we wanted to start trying sort of as soon as possible, but we also wanted some time to be like married, but just us two. Now, because of Corona, we don't know if the wedding is going to go ahead. So if the wedding has to be postponed for nearly a year, that pushes everything back by a year, and that is the main reason that I've been so upset, because there are lots and lots of reasons why we wanted to get married this year. So who knows what my 5-year plan will be now, but I'm sure everything will work out the way it's supposed to. Tips to make money on Animal Crossing. Fish a lot, catch a lot of bugs, buy turnips at a low price and sell them at a high price, That's all I can think of. Do you miss any of your old scrapbook kits, e.g. Gossamer Blue or Like Forever? Yes, I really do. I miss them both and neither of them exist anymore. I used to absolutely love getting a big parcel of Scrapbooking Happy Mail through the door every month, and I still get my Lollipop Box Club kit because I'm on Lisa's creative team, but I would also love to subscribe to like a pocket scrapbooking kit again or something like that, because Gossamer Blue was amazing. I was gutted when they closed. And then lastly, somebody sent me a separate message with a few questions in, so let's have a look. How did you meet Will and what was it that first attracted you to him? We actually met online. I had set up an online dating profile with my friend because we wanted to compare funny stories basically, and I had like closed the profile down. I hadn't been able to figure out how to delete it, but I had like taken everything off it except I think my profile picture was still on there. And I had an email one day saying that somebody had messaged me, so I went on and read it and it was from Will, and I honestly like can't really even remember what it was like that he said, but we just got chatting, and even though we're very different people, we also have a lot in common, which I know sounds a bit strange, but he just made me laugh straight away. So we spoke for a couple of weeks and then we went on a date, and he like wasn't my usual type or anything, but he was just a lot of fun and made me laugh all the time, and I'm very grateful for him. How did you get into crafting? I've always been into crafting really. My mum loves arts and crafts, so she did a lot of it with us when we were kids. So I think that's probably what got me into it. What were your favourite subjects at school and did you enjoy sixth form? My favourite subjects were always English and history, and no, I did not enjoy sixth form. My first year wasn't too bad, but my second year was horrendous. My first relationship broke up. We'd been together 2 years and I was absolutely heartbroken. I had a massive Crohn's relapse, ended up going into hospital, and only attended college for half of my second year. What were your favourite parts of your university experience? If you've been watching a long time, you'll know that my university experience wasn't all great, and for a lot of people it's not great, but I thoroughly enjoyed university, and that's why I went back to do a master's, and my first year was honestly one of the best years of my life. I was out of the house for the first time and living with a bunch of people I didn't know, but I absolutely loved it, and we would go out, and I loved my subject and I loved my professors, and it was just, yeah, amazing. So my first year living in halls was definitely the best part of my uni experience, and I think that's it. So thank you everyone who sent in a question for my Q&A. The post has just arrived, so I've got this little parcel which is something for the wedding day from Oh Happy Party Co, but I can't show you because it's a surprise for my bridal party. And then I got this from, it's from the Persnickety Co. My maid of honour and my best friend actually sent it to me, presumably because I've been having such a hard time worrying about the wedding lately, and it's actually almost made me cry. It's this little wish bracelet, and it's specifically for the bride-to-be, and there's this little poem underneath, so you can pause if you want to read that, but I feel really emotional about it, and I really hope that all our wishes do come true, and that the day can go ahead and that everyone can be together. So yeah, thank you Lucy if you're watching this. Morning everyone, I know I haven't spoken to you face to face today, but I just had a knock on the door and our drawer handles have finally arrived. I went for these like antique-y distressed looking ones. Quite frankly, they were the cheapest ones that I could get for the amount that I needed, but I like them. So I'm going to go and put them on my chest of drawers. Will's chest of drawers we need to drill holes, but mine we can do, so I'm going to go and do it now and see what they look like. So annoyingly, they don't fit.
So we're going to need to drill larger holes in my chest of drawers as well. So we still don't have handles, unfortunately. So because I'm obsessed with this game and don't want to fill my normal journal with it, I've started an Animal Crossing journal because I have this little tree one. So I've actually started an Animal Crossing journal, and I'm going to start with all my photos from like the beginning of the game. Look at my creepy face in that photo. So funny. So I'm going to fill this up with all my Animal Crossing photos and progress and stuff, and I think it's cute. But yeah, I'm not appearing on camera today because I'm just not feeling it, to be honest. So hopefully I'll feel a bit better later or tomorrow, and I'll chat to you properly then. Hello everyone, good afternoon. It is Friday. I realised that I hadn't really spoken to you guys over the last couple of days because I've still just been feeling really rubbish, basically. And honestly, for the last couple of days I have literally just sat on the couch and played Animal Crossing and watched YouTube videos for about 2 or 3 days now. I just haven't been able to shake this horrible feeling, basically. And yeah, it's just not been particularly fun. But today our final payment for our wedding venue was due, and they invoiced us this morning. So I emailed my contact there, my wedding coordinator, and was like, what is the protocol for if we have to cancel? Because obviously we're hoping that the wedding will be able to go ahead in some form on the intended date, even if they say like it's, you know, gatherings of 100 people or less or something are allowed to go ahead. We're hoping that might happen. We know it's unlikely, but you have to have some sort of hope, otherwise you would just be feeling terrible all the time, and that's how I've been feeling anyway. But you know, so we're hoping it will go ahead, but obviously the likelihood is that we will have to postpone, and we really are going to be competing with people in terms of getting dates for next year, because the only time that we're prepared to get married next year is next spring. So I just emailed back and I said, you know, what happens if we have to cancel because you don't have any suitable dates or anything? And she was really lovely. She got back to us really quickly, and she said that if we have to cancel because of government recommendations or restrictions, then we will get a full refund. I don't know what the protocol is like if we just decide to cancel because there aren't any good dates. We might lose our deposit, I'm not sure, but it's good to know that if the wedding can't go ahead because of government restrictions, then we can get a full refund. But she also sent a list of available dates for next spring. So we asked her to pencil in a date for us next April, just in case the wedding has to be postponed. So I need to email all of my suppliers today and see if they are free on that date next April, and if possible, can they pencil us in just in case we have to cancel for August. But I feel a little bit better just knowing that we have a possible date with the venue if it has to be cancelled. So hopefully from now, especially once I've spoken to my suppliers, hopefully I can start feeling a little bit less stressed about it all now, knowing that if it has to be cancelled, we've got another plan in place. Archie sat next to me looking adorable. But yes, it's the 1st of May today, and it is Lollipop Box Club's 5-year birthday. They are 5 years old today, and Lisa is doing a live crafting stream in the group at 2 o'clock. It's 1:25 now, and I want to watch her live stream, so I'm going to do that. This isn't an ad, so I'm not going to mark it as an ad. I literally don't have to tell you about this at all. It's just something that I want to do today. Is there anything else to tell you? I don't think so.
I always used to do that with my stickles. Yeah, so maybe I will do that actually, because I'm quite aware that although I'm doing more vlogs, there's a lot of creativity sometimes in the vlogs, but then if you're only there for the creativity.
It's been a while since I spoke to you, but I am going to make the banana muffins that I made again the other week. Excuse this, it is actually clean, it's been through the dishwasher, it's just like old. But yeah, got all my ingredients here and I'm going to make these banana muffins because they were really good and I still have enough ingredients to make another batch. Well, I made a bit of a mess with that, but they're done and ready to go in the oven. So I think it takes 25 minutes. So we'll see if these ones turn out better than the last ones. Okay, I slightly overcooked these and there were a few that still had some explosions, even though I followed people's advice and tapped on the bottom of the baking tray before I put them in the oven, but I obviously didn't do it enough. Some of them turned out pretty good, but yeah, some of them had explosions which I've broken off. But yeah, they're okay. They smell absolutely delicious. So not perfect, but maybe I'll just keep practicing during lockdown. This will be my next project if I can get hold of any more flour.
Hello everyone. My hair isn't exactly the same hairstyle that it's been most of this week because I can't be bothered to wash it, but I am going to wash it today. I did at least change my hairband today to a different one. It's Saturday. You can't really tell right now because the sun has kind of gone in, but I woke up to beautiful sunshine this morning, and even though I didn't sleep very well last night at all, like I didn't get to sleep till nearly 2 a.m, I just woke up with such a sense of relief because I can't remember what I mentioned yesterday. I know I told you that we had provisionally booked a date that we may possibly move our wedding to for next April, if we have to cancel our August date. But I can't remember if I told you about emailing the suppliers, so I emailed round to all of them and already half of them have got back to me saying that they can do that date in April and they've penciled us in until I let them know otherwise. So that is just amazing, and honestly I've woken up with such a sense of relief this morning because it was just hanging over me so heavily, like how difficult it was going to be to reschedule, and thankfully it's not been so bad so far. So if we do have to move to this new date, hopefully I'll at least be able to keep the majority of my suppliers. Obviously catering is the biggest thing, and I'm not sure if the caterers are going to be free because they don't just do weddings, they're booked in for all sorts of events, because we're having a barbecue and we're having pizzas, like stone-fired pizzas in the evening. So they don't just do weddings, so they may not be free, and I don't know what their policy is on refunds. I know a lot of people are saying that because of COVID and this being like an unprecedented situation, they have to give you a refund, so we'll see how it works out. Hopefully they'll just be free, but the venue is going to let me know about that. Just waiting to hear back from my hairstylist, our makeup artist, and the person that we've booked the photo booth with. If they can't do this new date, I'm just going to leave everything as is for now, and because I don't want to have to pay any more deposits for anyone new until I know that I'm definitely going to need them. So I'm going to leave it as it all is, because obviously we're hoping it's going to go ahead in August anyway. And if we have to cancel with these people and move to this new date in April, then I will try and deal with getting deposits and stuff back at that point. It's still a bit of a faff. Obviously, I'm waiting to hear back from half of our suppliers, plus the caterers. So it's not sort of like all in the clear yet. Plus, we have to contact the registry office to make sure that there is actually going to be somebody to marry us on that day. Fridays, fingers crossed, tend to be less popular than the weekend, obviously, so hopefully there will be somebody available, and hopefully they'll let us pencil it in without having to pay another deposit, but obviously I don't know that, so I'm going to have to contact them and ask. But I do just feel so relieved that at least we have another date with the venue, and the photographer, videographer and florist are all free and have all penciled us in, so that is great to me. Will and I have played Animal Crossing all morning. We just laid in bed till like 10:30 playing Animal Crossing, and then we got up and Will made us sausage sandwiches, and now he's gone for a walk. But I wanted to tell you a funny story this morning which just sort of like sums up my like mental state right now. So my mum keeps telling me that I needed to go out and start my car because my car has not been driven or started since the 18th of March. I haven't driven it personally since the 6th of March, which was the day I went into hospital. And it just got left at my parents' house the whole time I was in hospital. My mum drove me home from the hospital 10 days later, so I still didn't have my car. So a couple of days after that, my parents came and dropped it off on the driveway, and it literally has not been started since then. So everyone kept telling me, you need to go and see if it will start because the battery will probably be dead because it's sat there for like 2 months, nearly 2 months. So I went out to see if it would start this morning, and it did. And even because I have not even sat in my car like this whole time since before I went into hospital, the day I went into hospital. So like even the smell of my car when I got into it, and the sound of the engine running and just being in my car nearly made me cry. Like my eyes started watering and I got so emotional, because I just think that after all of this has happened, those little things that we always take for granted, I just think the first time that I do any of those things again is going to feel so special. Like just going out and starting my car this morning felt like a little bit of normality that has been sort of like ripped away from us for the past few months, and it honestly nearly brought me to tears.
First time we've been able to sit outside for over a week. Lovely. Right, so I have got my video uploading. It's going to be up tonight, so I'll leave a link to that in the description because obviously it will go up before this one. It's a bit late in the week for me to be uploading a second video, but oh well. Obviously with everyone being at home, it's nice to have stuff to watch, so it doesn't really matter that it's only a couple of days until I upload my next video. Will stopped in at Sainsbury's when he was on his daily walk earlier, and he bought back one of those like instant barbecues and a load of barbecue stuff so that we can do that tonight because it's been so long since it was sunny. Bless him, he's so sweet. Like I'm so grateful for him in the middle of all of this. And I'm going to leave this video to upload, and I really want to do some crafting, but I don't really know like what project to work on, so I want to show you some of my Animal Crossing journal, but I'm also tempted to do that in a separate video, like a midweek video, because I've seen a couple of people say they want to start Animal Crossing journals, so who knows. But yeah, for now I'm just going to sit here and enjoy feeling a bit more positive than I have lately. We are waiting for our little barbecue to be ready. It's flaming right now. Looks like it's on fire. Oh dear. Also, I found out that the groomer that we use is open for people who can walk there, and I'm very tempted to get Archie booked in because look at this little boy.
He's got some twig in his moustache.
He's got a twig in his moustache. Archie. It's okay. Oh, the bunnies don't like the smoke. I'll close the shed. Hi everyone, sorry for the weird angle, but there is nowhere else to prop you in Will's car because I'm out of the house for the first time in 39 days. Basically, I just could not stand it anymore, and I was considering going on a walk or something, but we needed some light bulbs and a few bits for the garden, and Will was going to come to B&Q and pick them up, and he was like, why don't you just come with me and sit out in the car? So I'm completely safe. I'm not having contact with anyone. I won't touch Will, obviously, until he's like got home and washed his hands and changed his shirt and everything. So I feel totally safe, but it's just crazy being out of the house and seeing other people, and it's also crazy to see, like, just in the car park, how many people aren't adhering to social distancing, and like groups of 2 or 3 people are going into the shops together, and I thought you were only meant to go in like one at a time, as in like couples weren't meant to shop together or whatever, but they definitely are. But yeah, like I said, I'm just staying in the car, but it's so nice to be out and to like actually feel fresh air that's not just in my garden, and yeah, just to be out of the house. It's crazy. It's been so long. I nearly cried when we were driving through our town, because it's been 6 weeks since I even like saw our village, because I haven't even been on a walk. So yeah, but I think Will's coming back. Hello, we are back at home now, and I'm back in my dressing gown because it's cold. We were only out for about an hour, but it was nice to leave the house. I must admit, it was really hard coming back. When we were turning into our road, I just had this like really strong feeling of like, I just don't want to go home again. But I think it's made me feel a little bit braver to go out on walks and actually start walking the dogs myself again. Yeah, I think I'm going to start trying to go for some walks now, because I immediately just felt better having been out of the house. I'm having a naughty early dinner now of some pizza, and then I'm going to edit this vlog. So I'm sorry that this was a bit of an up and down vlog again, and that I haven't really spoken too much this week. I'm running out of things to do, and at the beginning it was a real novelty to be able to scrapbook all the time. But now obviously I'm getting a little bit bored of it, so I've started some new projects instead of finishing some old ones, and the next sort of painting project I had was to paint the skirting boards in the house, and that's a massive project that I just don't really feel like doing yet, and yeah, I don't know, we'll see how things go. But yeah, I'm sorry it was a bit of a weird one this week, but life's just a bit weird in general, isn't it? So I will see you next week. If you have any questions, let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.